All right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely early morning in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm coming today, this early morning, so let me let you get your coffee and your tea, and let's sit down and feed from the food that is for your spirit. Okay? I'm coming out of Matthew's chapter 24, and I want to really cover verse 6 and 7. We're going to bounce it back up to Matthew's chapter 24 and verse 3. We'll go down to verse 7. Matthew's chapter 24, verse 3, and we're going all the way down to verse 7, maybe 8. Let's go on down to 8. Okay, this is going to be food for your spirit. I woke up really early this morning, like 3, and I decided to sit up. I read a little, then I wanted to cover a topic that is surrounding prophecies. And I got really tied up with the fullness of understanding prophecies, and that prophecies were given to the servants of the Most High Yah, basically in time past and in present to the prophets, okay, and the prophetess. But I got caught up in Revelation, and I think it was verse 20, chapter 22, when I saw something that just stopped me in my tracks, and I began to focus on it, and then I got kind of overloaded because I said, okay, but this does not make any sense. So then did I see how, without a doubt, you need the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Spirit, living in you and teaching you spirit and truth. This book called the Bible is an instruction and a direction guide. Everything in life comes with a book. Some people say having children and raising them don't come with a book, but it did. That's the book that's also that support life here on the earth. The Bible is there as an instruction and direction guide. Like unto you on your job. When you first got hired, the first thing they gave you was an employee rule and regulations and a vision book. You go to college, they give you books. Everywhere you go, you're going to be handed a book or books. So the Most High Yah see to it that when you come onto this earth, there is going to be something there for you to study, that you may study to show yourself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth. Why? Because if you study long enough, The Ruach will see your faithfulness. And he will come and abide in you and teach you all things. I want to give honor and glory and praise to the greatest, Yahuwah. He's the best. He is the excellent one. He is the perfect one. He is the all-knowing one. He is the wonderful one. He is the all-power one. And I give him praise and glory and honor for being the teacher of all things, the light in the midst of darkness. I give him praise and honor this morning. I just appreciate all that he was, all that he is, and all that he shall be. Praise the mighty Yah. So this morning I'm going to cover something, and I might be a little here and a little there, but you best bet it's going to be food for the spirit, which is spirit and truth. I have noticed something that I had not noticed, being so I'm not of the world, yet I am in the world. But I want to let you know I noticed something, and it brought me to a level that still matches the prophecies. Okay, and that's what's good about a lot of things that I deal with. I search for it to line up with those that has given the prophecies. And today I found out in Revelation chapter 22 that it speaks of the prophecies is what you should have always searched for in the Bible. The prophecies, because the prophecies proceed out of the mouth of the Most High Yah, or Yeshua HaMashiach, or the prophets. And he's saying in Revelation 22, chapter 22, he talks about the prophecies, and we're going to cover that. But let me kind of sip my coffee. Okay, I really kind of got off of it, but I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to go back to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation chapter 22. And see if the Holy Spirit would allow me to go on into it. Okay? In Revelation chapter 22, in verse 6 and 7, it says in verse 6 of Revelation chapter 22, and he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. True. I want you all to really consider the rest of your life resting in spirit and truth, okay? Not so much as what people say, flesh say, woman, man, but what is being taught to you by the Spirit of the Most High Yah. It is spirit and truth that teaches you all things. So in Revelation chapter 22, verse 6, it reads, and he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and truth. And Ahiah, which is Yahuwah, of the holy prophets. Notice you see holy prophets. Holy prophets are those that came strictly out of the bosom of the Most High Yah. You have a whole lot of people claiming to be prophets. and prophetess. Those that you see many are those that was prophesied that many false prophets shall come. Meaning many is going to come to try to be the voice of the Most High Yah unto the world. You see, they gonna work day and night and day to make sure they get out videos and videos and videos so that they could teach you what Yah did not give them, but they see how easy and how weak the flesh is. So they say, okay, I'm going to want to join in too. I'm going to get me a page and I'm going to say I'm a prophet. I'm going to say I'm a prophetess and I'm going to get on here and I'm going to show myself. And I'm going to just speak and I'm going to represent the Most High God as a prophet or a prophetess. These are those who are false prophets and false prophetess. Okay? So, in Revelation chapter 22, let's read 6 again, and we're going to go down to 7. And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. If Sister Deborah were to interview, let's say 100 prophets and prophetess, neither nor would be able to tell me what is faithful and what does it mean true. What is faithful that it stands next to true? What is true that stands next to faith? They wouldn't be able to tell you. They wouldn't be able to tell me. They would have every definition that is not resting in spirit and truth. Faithful is a brand of the Most High Yah. He has righteous, belief, faith, and fear. Those are his brands. He brand his before they come down. So this is why they return already branded. And that's why their name is written in the Lamb Book of Life. So if I had to ask a prophet or a prophetess today, they wouldn't know what faithful and truth really means. Okay? Now, it's continued in verse 6. And Ahiah, Yahuwah, of the holy prophets. Holy mean God has branded them. They are set aside for the like set aside is defined as sanctified, but holy is also lining up with sanctified. And holy is who Yah is. And he called his prophets holy. He called his elects holy. Okay? So remember, holy is his name. And if his name is holy, he's saying here, understand, mine that belong to me, which I am holy, my prophets are holy likewise. Okay? So he says, of the holy prophets sent his angels to show unto his servants. See, the prophets are the servants of the Most High Yah. Not only are they the servants of the Most High Yah, they are holy. Not only are they holy, they are branded for his name's sake. That's why Sister Deborah was given the gift of discerning, to know who is a prophet and a prophetess, and who is not. I, Sister Deborah, see how the false prophets is what I see on the earth today, because they're speaking information that does not bring light to spirit and truth, which is the Holy Spirit, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. They bring light to their voice, their page, their flesh, their information. You see, but they're doing it for gain. All of this is coming to them for gain. Yah son not them out. But he warned. He did what? He warned you that there is and there shall be false prophets in the end days. Okay? So here you see where he says, and Ahiah of the holy prophets sent his angels to show unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. Okay? So you all must understand, the prophets are the servants of the Most High Yah. Okay? And you're going to read, you're going to understand in the next verse where I'm coming from. Let's go to verse 7. And it says, behold, I come quickly. Blessed, past tense already, they already blessed, is he that keeps the scene of the prophecies of this book. Now, the book in which he speaketh of is the original book that has his spiritual fingerprint in, and it has the message of all prophecies. And they're coming out of what? They're coming out of the mouth of Yah. They're coming out of the mouth of Yeshua HaMashiach. And they're coming out of the mouth of his servants, the prophets. Yah is telling you right here today, he is not sending apostles, bishops, evangelists, teachers, Maureen's, seers, watchmen, prophetess, prophets, fake prophets, and fake prophetess. He is not sending them. He is not sending them with the word of prophecy. When you look into the word as not the word, but the words of this book, you would see that all the ones that are prophets left the prophecies. The prophecies was left by his servant, the prophets. Okay? If it didn't come from Yah himself, leaving us a prophecy, it came from his servants, which were also prophets. It came from Yeshua HaMashiach. So like unto then is like unto today. What is he saying for us today? He's saying in verse 7, behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecies. Now, what are the prophecies? What proceed out of the mouth of Yah? What proceed out of the mouth of Yeshua HaMashiach? And what Yah had given the prophets to give unto us in this book. So that's saying a lot of things you all are keeping. It says that keep the sayings of the prophecies of this book. It didn't say every word that is in this book. It says the prophecies in this book. Why? Let me explain to you again. Yah gave prophecies Yeshua HaMashiach gave prophecies. And the servants of the Most High Yah, those that are prophets, that stands in the position of a prophet, that were mouthpiece for the Most High Yah, in this book is what you should keep. So a lot of these things that you hear these people saying, he is not saying take it and plant it in your heart. He's saying the prophecies, because the prophecies I gave you out of my own mouth. Yeshua came and brought more confirmation, Yeshua HaMashiach, of prophecies. And then throughout the beginning and the end of it all, he always sent his servants to speak prophecies that we may keep at all times. So a lot of times when I'm ministering, at least trying to minister to individual, I try to instill in them, I say, Isaac, Jacob, and Jeremiah, those are my brothers. I tell y'all that because there are those that's in this book that has left us prophecies that Yah had given them to leave us. Yeshua HaMashiach, I was reading some things he said. I was like, wait a minute, Yeshua, they don't even get you when you say that. And he left prophecy. Yah said and left prophecies. Here it is, the whole revelation is a form of a prophecy. And John the Baptist, that is the mouthpiece of the servant of the Most High Yah, he's leaving all these prophecies also in Revelation. But you see here how it comes out in red. It's letting you know. The Father is letting you know, I can be in and out at the same time. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. And right here he said, he came out. He said, behold, I come quickly. Blessed is Deborah that keeps the sayings of the prophecies of this book. Yes, there are sometimes, many a times, the Ruach HaKodesh, the true teacher, have to show you the prophecies and break the prophecies down to you, or show you how man has smeared the prophecies. But in it all, with the Ruach HaKodesh in you, it's going to show you all the prophecies for what it stands for and what it means, because it comes to do what? Teach you all things. So that's where I leaned to when I saw that. I said, wait a minute, Father, you're telling the people right here, you're telling them to keep the sayings of the prophecies of this book. He's not telling you to keep what the pastor is preaching, what the pastor is teaching. He's not telling you to abide by the rules and regulations of the pastors and everything, and apostles and the preachers, the teachers, the Mories, the seers, the watchmen, the prophets, and the prophetess. He's not telling you that. He's telling you keep the prophecies, the saying of the prophecies of this book. 99 trillion wouldn't know how to do that, because they so used to of hearing words out of loudmouth men, controlling, deceiving mouth of false prophets, which are like unto false pastors, false apostles, and we stand before them and let them teach and preach to us that which Yah come into Revelation. I'm looking in Revelation, I'm like, say, hold up, Father Yah. Hold up, Father Yah. I see in Revelation 22, I see you pull it up. He said, yeah, I pull it up and I pull it out. He said, I'm the only one can do that. I can be in and be out at the same time. And you notice in Revelation 22, you see in red. That's saying I'm pulling out, Deborah, to let them know. And to let you know. It was always said and meant to be that there are prophecies that the prophets came down with. I came down with prophecies. Yeshua HaMashiach came down with prophecies. My prophets from the beginning to the end came down with prophecies. I'm coming and rolling up in it in the end days in Revelation chapter 22 to show you I'm stepping out in red to warn you and others that they are to keep the sayings of the prophecies of the book. Who was saying it? The prophets. The prophets. And the prophecies that came and proceed out of the mouth of Yah and the mouth of Yeshua. He ain't telling you to keep nothing everybody else is saying in here. He is not telling you to keep. He's just telling you in Revelation it's over. It's ended. You should have kept the prophecies. And I try to deal with you all on that level all the time. I tell y'all, Solomon is my brother. Solomon left prophecy as well. I'm not stuck up on Solomon and how many wives and stuff he had. I see him as my brother because he's branded. His seed is branded. My seed is branded. That means we're in there together. You look at David. While man is trying to take the flesh of David and practice his polygamy, the flesh of Abraham and practice his polygamy, the flesh of Isaac and practice his, the flesh of Jacob and practice his polygamy. And what the Father is saying, they sit here watching the flesh and practicing how to live the way these men lived in the flesh. And they don't know how to live the way Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the way Solomon, the way David lived in the spirit. Because when they are of flesh, they live after the flesh. So that's why they so in tune with polygamy. It's because they went and they saw something that they marveled off of. They magnified it. They glorified it. Glorified what, Deborah? Magnified what? The works of the flesh of man. And they have not stood side by side with David in the spirit realm. They have not stood side by side with Abraham in the spirit realm. They have not stood by Isaac in the spirit realm. They have not stood by Jacob in the spirit realm. They have not stood by Solomon in the spirit realm. They never stood side by side with the seed of the spirit. They took on their characteristics of the flesh because they love the things of the flesh. So since Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Solomon and David and them, they did polygamy. Oh, I love that part. I love that part. So we can do that too. Yeah, he made it okay for them to do that. They did it, and they did it, and they did. Yes, they did. But it's not in the righteous will of my Father. It is not in the spirit realm, meaning if it's not of the spirit, then it is of the flesh, and the flesh is dead. That means people who live after the flesh shall die the lake of fire. Death of the lake of fire. And that's what I'm saying. They don't get it. Even the Hebrew Israelites, these camps, these academies, these churches, these cults, these family ministries, all of them, they live of the flesh and not of the spirit. And 99 trillion be on this devil platform trying to follow these people. And guess what? They follow them to the utmost, not even caring that these people are not spirit and truth. That means that you're following their flesh just as they're following the flesh of David, the flesh of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They are not following the spiritual seed. I, Sister Deborah, follow the spiritual seed of David. I, Sister Deborah, follow the spiritual seed of Abraham. I, Sister Deborah, follow the spiritual seed of Isaac. I, Sister Deborah, follow the spiritual seed of Jacob. I, Sister Deborah, follow the spiritual seed of Solomon. I, Sister Deborah, follow the spiritual seed of all prophets of the Most High Yah. I follow the spirit of who they are, because that is the eternal book that all of us that's in spirit shall walk therein, the book of life. See, so this is the simplest way you can explain to people. Polygamy is not it. If you serve the things that these here monarchies served in their flesh, and never realized it was never created that you mimic their flesh. He didn't tell you to mimic Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and David, and Solomon, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Isaac. He never told us to follow their ways of their flesh, their pleasures of their flesh. But I tell you, one man pulled up. Come on here. He pulled on up and he pulled on in. Guess who that was? Yeshua HaMashiach. Come follow me. No, they can't do that. That's too much like righteous. That's too much of the light. That's too much of spirit and truth. They don't want to follow Yeshua HaMashiach, but they want to run to the flesh of man and how they mimic them in the ways of their flesh and have no connection to the spirit of who Abraham was, to the spirit of who Isaac was, to the spirit of who Jacob was, to the spirit of who David was, to the spirit of who Solomon is and was. See, what they missed was what he's saying here. What is he saying? He says in Revelation chapter 22 and verse 7, "Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecies of this book." The prophecies of this book would also show you exactly who's who and what's what. And it'll lean you more to the bosom of the Most High Yah, that you would understand the spiritual over the flesh and not let the flesh deny the spirit. Okay? So when you go up in here and you go to Galatians, I ain't gonna take you there. But when you go into let's go on down to verse 8, Revelation 22 and verse 8. "And I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship." Now, see, this is the example I was just telling y'all. Listen to what John did. Now, he's in John is in a vision. And this, now, I want y'all, I'm going to say something. And it's so much power in what I'm about to say because I just learned it as I get ready to speak it. I'm just learning it like I'm speaking it to you all. And that's why I'm feeling that thing. So I'm going on over to 8. That wasn't my part of my thing, but I'm going to go into 8 and I'm going to show you something that's spirit and truth. I'm going to show you where you can see some light in what I'm talking about. When you get to we still in Revelation chapter 22. Let's go on down to verse 8. "And John, and I, John," he's in the vision, "saw these things." And not only did he say he saw them, he said he heard them. Now listen to this. "And when I had heard and seen." Now, what did I tell you about how the people today worship the flesh of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Didn't I just say that to y'all? They worship the flesh of what David did. David and them practiced polygamy. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So what do? We can do polygamy. He didn't say we could. You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell you to follow the flesh. He told you to mimic the example. And that person, that individual, that spirit that came down here that you shall mimic was Yeshua HaMashiach. He didn't tell you to mimic David. He didn't tell you to mimic Jacob, Abraham, and Isaac. You mimic their flesh. You're walking in their flesh ways. And we know flesh goes back to the ground. And the way that you live in your flesh it really set in you who you are in your spirit. So know the way that you will be judged. Okay? Now, as I read that, how John, again in verse 8, and I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard them and seen them, that's talking about what he saw in the vision and what he heard. Watch this here. What happened to John? I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel, which showed me these things. See how instant John respond was to bow down and worship an angel. Did not I tell y'all that? I just got to telling y'all that example of how the men and women today, but 99% of the Hebrew Israelite men are worshiping the flesh of everyone in the Bible that they feel that represented God. He did not tell them. Ahiah did not tell them, mimic Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, mimic David, watch Solomon, do the things that they do. I didn't say anything to them, and I'm not going to say anything to you. I let them do it, and if because I let them do it, it is right. No. That's not that's wicked and evil. And that's what our people, our men, and our women have bowed down to. The things of the flesh of David, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Solomon. Not the things of the spirit. So what happens? Listen to this. Here go John. He's in a vision, y'all. He's in the heavens in the vision. He's telling you these things he heard and he seen. And once he did, what happened? In verse 8, he fell down to worship before the feet of the angel, which showed me these things. And hold up. Let's see what the angel stepping to him said. See, this is what you call food for the spirit. Watch this angel. Verse 9. Then said unto me, see thou do it not. Now John is in the vision being corrected. John is in the vision being corrected. These men are not in no vision. They're not even in the spiritual walk of Yah. Yah is not coming down to correct them because they came to the earth just as they are on the earth with that mindset of the flesh. He's not coming down here to change the mentality of these men. That's why he letting them kill, steal, and destroy their own nation so that Matthew 24 and verse 7 be fulfilled. That's what he's doing. And they thinking they ruling it. They thinking they running it. Baby, you ain't doing nothing but walking my Father's word up and out. Satan will tell you that. And every demon in hell and demon on this earth, they will tell you we only walk in the will of the Creator. Not even our way. And y'all so dumb to believe you got so much power in your flesh to walk your way. And you don't even know your way have already been walked up and walked out. Check out the book in Revelation chapter 20. The books. You're in there. Okay. Now, hear this in verse 9. Then said he unto me, see thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brother the prophets, and of them which keep the saying of this book. Worship, y'all. You see how John in the vision, in Revelation, you see he's an apostle. You see how he had to be correct. In the vision was he corrected. Because he felt, oh, it's time to bow down and worship this angel because of what he's shown me. No, baby. No, baby. You don't bow down and worship nobody but Yah. But the angel had to stop him and correct him because he was out of course. That's another time. John, I think, in this vision been corrected, I think 3 or 4 times in this vision. Because I know one time he marveled off the woman that sits on the harlot, the woman that sits on the beast. He marveled off of that. And he asked him, why do you marvel off of that? Do you know what this means? That's going back to show y'all the mindset of the male is so far off course. They don't even know they off course. But I just loved how Father would teach you through the Ruach, how he come in and how he come out. Because right here, that serves a good a part of polygamy, whether y'all know it or not. This answer how I would, as a prophetess, teach polygamy. That there shows you right there. It shows it really good. Because listen to how John began to bow down and do what? Worship an angel. John, he's an apostle, but now he's in a vision. But look what he's doing. All the things that were shown to him, now he in the end of Revelation, and he bowed down to an angel. Even in the vision, in the presence of the light of Yah, you're going to get your tail corrected. So what he tell him? Then the angel said to him in verse 9. We in Revelation chapter 22 and verse 9. Then said he unto me, see thou do it not, for I am the fellow servant of thy brethren, the prophets, and of them which keep the saying of this book. Going back to what Yeshua said in verse 7. Behold, I come quick. Blessed is he that keep the saying of the prophecy of this book. This angel is telling him the same thing. That he himself, the angel, said, I'm a fellow servant. And of thy brethren, the prophets. See, this angel said the same thing I've been telling y'all. When y'all hear me, y'all done heard me too many times saying, Solomon, David, and Abraham, they're my brothers. Those are my brothers. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, those are my brothers. Don't Sister Deborah tell y'all that all the time. And then just looking at it right here, how this angel is said, I am thy fellow servants of thy brethren, the prophets. So am I. Okay, watch this here. And of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship only God. See how he had to correct him in the vision of presence of holy. He had to be corrected. So what makes you think these men on earth should not be corrected? Should not be told, shown up? I got something to teach this evening because I'm going to teach this and I'm going to surround it around this word polygamy. Because this is the prime example. This angel is telling John, don't worship me. I'm an angel. I'm a servant. I'm one of the brethrens of the prophets. I hear what the prophets are saying. But we still have to keep the sayings of the book, which is of the prophets and the words that proceed out of the mouth of Yah. and the and to worship Yah. And see, this is where the problem is at. And it ain't going nowhere. Because people love darkness better than they do light. So again, when you're teaching the polygamy, the tower of polygamy comes down. And if someone has built a tower of vision and their foundation on a topic that drew a lot of people to believe that this is what their belief is founded under, this leader is not going to come back and change that. He's not going to correct it. He's going to go and get it. Even if he has to go overseas, even if he got to go to another country, he had to step into the Europeans, which you can't step into to teach the Hebrew Israelite nothing. Because they're not going to come correct. They're not going to come 100. Yah is not sending them 100. Not where we at today. He already lined you up and told you they are your oppressors. So therefore, they are never going to be what you want them to be because you said that they are. Let Yah deal with them. And you deal with first self. You work on self. And then you work on your children. And while working on yourself and your children, your wife see your effort of putting Yah first. Not only within yourself, but within your babies. Then she see you and she see you as her head, her leader. You can't be a head when you see no head there. You see a bunch of loud mouth, ugly, profanity, ugly mouth. You don't see that. So I, Sister Deborah, would say to you that this is a great revelation. And listen to what verse 10 said. And he said unto me, seal not the saying of the prophecies of this book, for the time is at hand. Praise the Most High Yah. Now what he's saying, what this angel is saying to John in verse 22, and this is the end days to Sister Deborah, because I'm here. Stay in tune, Deborah, with those that you've been listening to, who's been giving you the prophecies. Stay in tune with them. Hear the prophecies out of the mouth of Yah continually. Hear the prophecies out of the mouth of Yeshua continually. So let's go to Matthew's 24. Matthew's 24 is exactly one of the prophecies that Revelation 22 is talking about. And this is why you see people running in the wrong direction instead of the direction that leads to the narrow gate. So when you get to when you get to Matthew's 24, let's hear what the prophecy of Yeshua. See, this is what I'm trying to say to you all. You all more so are in tune with all these TBN and all these pastors on this YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all on these media. But you are not in tune to anyone that carries the prophecies of the Most High Yah. Because the prophecies that's in this book is so important to keep. But you really can't understand it until the prophets of today that Yah has sent for a time as this to speak it, because it's finished in Yah. All he now would have you to hear is the prophecies of yesterday and those that are of today that he speaks to his prophets, y'all. Not to no pastor, not to no apostle, not to no Maureen, no seer, no watchman. Not to no bishop. The prophecies are still resting in the same ones of yesterday, which is the prophets and the prophetess of yesterday. Now it rests today in the prophets and the prophetess today. Y'all ain't coming to your pastor to give you a right now word. Y'all ain't coming to your mama and your daddy. He ain't coming to your husband and your wife. He's coming to the same one he has came to in time past. The prophets. That's how you're going to get a word today. So if you won't think that he's going to take, and you ain't going to find no scriptures in here where he's telling you the prophecies rest in the mouth of the pastors. The prophecies rest in the mouth of the apostles. The prophecies rest in the mouth of the bishop. No. The prophecy is going to always rest in the mouth of the prophets and the prophetess. And if they killed them then, they had a reason for killing them then. And if they hate them today, they have a reason to hate them today. That's why you won't see the support to Sister Deborah, but you'll hear the report. You'll see the support to the false prophets. Anybody that support the false prophets are of the flesh. They're born to support the false prophets. But he that support the prophets of the Most High Yah is of the Spirit. They are of Yah. They are of Yah. Why? Because they support Yah's prophets that he sent out. Not the prophets, the false prophets. But that's what you see. You see 90% full support. No, I ain't going to say 90. 95% full support to the false prophets and prophetess. And the 5% of the prophets and prophetess of Yah, they just resting there. And it's nothing wrong because we know who our keeper is. We know who our biggest supporter is. That's the Most High Yah, who gave us the message, who gave us the right now word, who gave us spirit and truth, who handed us the light. So therefore, we know where our help come from. And if anything comes outside of he that has given us our help, we shall know that those two have to be Yah's servants. If they're not Yah's servants, they're still following the light. They follow in spirit and truth. Because that's where they put their support. They put their support in spirit and truth. And not in the flesh of man. Okay? Now, I'm not going to hold you too much longer. Matthew 24 and let's start with verse 3, and we're going to go on down to verse 8. In Matthew's chapter 24 and verse 3, now we're about to hear Yeshua HaMashiach prophesy. This is what Yah is saying in Revelation that we just read. He just said it in Revelation chapter 22 and verse, what was that? Let me get it right. 7. In verse 7, behold, Revelation chapter 22 and verse 7, behold, I come quick. Blessed is he that keepeth the saying of the prophecies of this book. He didn't say every word you see that the Roman Catholic has smeared. Every word in this book. This is how they're trapping you guys. Not with the prophecies of the prophets. Not with the prophecies that are spoken out of Yah's mouth, because it says, and Yah said. Not the prophecies that is spoken out of Yeshua, but the prophecies that are spoken out of the prophet's mouth. That's what it's asking you to keep. Okay? Now, here go one. Yeshua is bringing the prophecy forth. Now, this is what he said. Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon Mount Olive, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of the coming of the end of the world? They want him to prophesy to them what's to come. Okay? And Yeshua is going to do just that. But he wants to lead them first a word to the disciples. And this is what he said in verse 4. Yeshua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Now, if Yeshua privately is teaching this to his disciples, at the end of his journey with them, he's telling them, don't you be deceived. Because that is the biggest word that lets you know who's who and what's what. I, Sister Deborah, can tell you who's deceived. I, Sister Deborah, by the spirit of discerning, can tell you who's who and what's what. But I will be the one everybody with less here. Because I come with the prophecy. I come with the right now word out of the mouth of Yah. I come with the spirit of discerning. I come with the spirit of judgment. So I am the last and least listened to, supported, or anything. And that's fine. Because you learn that you got a head to lay your head. You got a bosom to lay your head on. And that is of the Most High Yah. When you are able to lay your head on his bosom, you're going to be all right. Okay, so here he's telling his disciples in verse 4, Matthew 24 and verse 4. And Yeshua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Now that's the 12 disciples that turned into the apostles. Now he's telling them, don't you be deceived. Okay, now listen to this. Verse 5, for many shall come in my name and say that I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Notice he said they shall come in my name, saying I am Christ, and shall deceive many. You notice they're not saying I am Yeshua. Why? Because Yeshua didn't have the power. They coming in the name of the power, which is Christ. That's the difference between what Sister Deborah has to give you all versus what these pastors, bishops, apostles, priests, teachers, ministers, Maureen, seers, and watchmen are teaching you all. They're not teaching you spirit and truth. Okay? And the reason why he said I am Christ is because Christ is the power that came down with the Son of Man. The power is the word, the power, and the spirit came down with him. And the name of those three were Christ. It was called the Son of Yah. Yeshua is the Son of Man. The Son of Yah came down with the Son of Man to complete the full mission of the Father. Hello. So, Yeshua is telling them, many shall come down in my name, saying, I am Christ. That's not your name, Yeshua. He said, Deborah, you know what I'm saying. You get it. They don't. Okay, let me not take you out of it. That's another message, okay? I am Christ, and shall deceive many. I want to just show you in that verse. You don't see him say it. He said, and come in my name. Why ain't you saying your first name? You the Son of Man. Why ain't you saying Yeshua? Because he's not telling. The way Yah set it up was many going to come trying to swing the power. See, y'all didn't know who the power was in Genesis chapter 1 and 26 and 27. That was the power. That was Christ. That was the right hand of the Father. They came down with the Son of Man to help him complete the whole full mission of the Father. So the Father sunned him down his right hand, and he named his right hand the Son of Yah, which the world called Yeshua HaMashiach. So this is why I am Christ. That's why they come to say that they the Christ. They come to say that they the power. They the spirit. And they the word. That's what they come in faking it. Trying to make it. They ain't coming down saying I'm Yeshua. Because they know ain't nothing in Yeshua. That shows you how the power, those that's coming down, how the cunning, they come. They know who the power is. And you sitting your tail on earth all these years. You've been living, never knew who the power was. Never knew who Christ was. Never knew what was in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27. You never knew nothing. You only knew what man has taught you. That's all y'all left you with. And that's all you have right now today. Okay. So in verse 5, he says, for many shall come in my name, saying that I am Christ, which is the power, the word, and the spirit, and shall deceive many. Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things, say it again, Deborah, for all these things, say it again, all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So Yah is telling you, when you get caught up and the world start telling you about wars and you hear rumors of war, oh, Russia, Ukraine, China, United States about to have a war, oh, Civil War, I mean, not the Civil War, the World War II, 3, 4, 5, or whatever they want to call it. That's to get you troubled. And he said, don't be troubled by that. Now, Yeshua is saying that to you all today, and still yet, when you hear about Ukraine, you all get caught up in it and caught up out of it. Oh, we need to take care of them. We need to do something for them. Everybody, you had Negroes running over there to help the people in Ukraine. All of that is the host, y'all. All of that is the power of man's way of deceiving you. Okay? So here it is in Matthew 24 telling us in the end days, never get caught up with war. Okay? And rumors of wars. I want you to see the word W-A-R-S in verse 6. And rumors of wars. W-A-R-S. He said chaos going in all countries and in all over the different countries in the world. Don't be taken by that. Don't let that take you, because that's not it. So don't get troubled by it, because he knows that you're going to get troubled, especially those who are not in righteous. They looking at all this CNN, NBC, and all this stuff telling them about Russia's doing this, China doing this, and United States is only going to tell you what they want you to know. But the truth of the matter, Yah sent a message to you for this day through Yeshua HaMashiach. That's a prophecy. Don't get tied up in it. But listen to what it says. In verse 7, it changed the whole atmosphere from verse 6 to verse 7. It changed the whole thing. It says, for nations shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famine, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. And verse 8, all of these are the beginning of what you all don't understand, the word sorrow. Because Yeshua said this, all these things are the beginning of sorrow. That's telling you, that's when you're going to see it. So, I have to come back. I wanted to come back because I got tied up into something that was very powerful to me. Very, very powerful. And it's really, I want to keep this topic right where it's at so it won't be too much for you. And I will be coming back with wrapping polygamy around the flesh and not the spirit. I will be coming back with that topic. And I also will be coming back to cover Matthew 24 and verse 7. Because what I've seen today, and I'm going to give you a little glimpse. What I've seen today is, Sister Deborah is the type of person that used to be a dance. I used to love to dance. And with dancing, I used to take the way I move and let it how would I say it? Tap in to the song itself, to the bass, to the beat, to the rhythm. And I think that's what made me be such a really good dancer. And what has happened is I have sat back and by accident, but not by accident, but by spirit, I saw so far 3 videos of Europeans. Most of them are redhead. Most of them are, a couple of them are red bearded. And I'm just looking at these European men kicking out this music. And when I see them kicking out this music, it does something to my spirit. I'm going to go and cover it right now, y'all. I'm going to take a few minutes to just talk about it. I'm drinking my coffee, so I hope you are taking in your coffee for today. And this is what has happened to Sister Deborah. I just woke up this morning and I did me some studying and everything. I cut the TV on and all of a sudden this one thing came on and I got kind of glued after I had made my coffee and sat down getting ready to video. But what I just realized is that I have an awesome gift. And that gift, I guess, I would say that it can benefit. You all don't understand the gifts that Yah has instilled in me was for the body of Hamashiach. Hamashiach is the power who has ushered the body, who has given the body the gift according to his purpose, which is Yah's power. Yah's power is the head. That's Christ. And we are the body. We are the church. We are the saints. We are the elects in the church. So a lot of things you all don't understand because you don't understand where you at in the body. Most people are not even in the body. They just place themselves a place they don't even understand. It's so comfortable for them to say that they are in the body because they just want to say it. Like I say, a lot of faking it till they make it. But even Yah prophesies, very few shall find the right way. And the broad gate is for those who are not going to find. But let's not get into that topic. But what I want to talk about at the end of this video is that I saw 3 videos of European Gentiles singing songs. And as I'm not a person of Tupac's, what's his name? Biggie. And no, all these rappers that was and all of them that passed away. A lot of people didn't know that the hands of the Gentiles were heavily in their death, 100%. Not 99.9, 100%. It was the hands of the Gentiles. Still yet the hand that Yah never stopped. When you saw all these black men hanging from trees, y'all didn't stop nan one of them. When they decide to cut off their intestines and cut off their penis and put them on fire, then put their babies up on trees and they put their women on trees, how many times you think y'all came to deliver them? Y'all don't know who you're dealing with. Y'all don't know who you're dealing with. You do not know who you're dealing with. So this here I wanted to talk about was these 3 songs that I heard. And each time I hear them, it's just something about the songs. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, because Sister Deborah have already explained to you all, I can hear behind here. That's a gift from the Most High Yah. Okay? And in the process of hearing behind hearing, I'm also gripping the beat, the rhythm, the sound, the instruments, and when I'm hearing these songs, I'm like, wait a minute, these guys are live. You know, I'm just like, oh, they live, and these guys are live in a way that the rappers of the Negroes can't touch. I know a lot of y'all think Tupac's can. But Tupac can also sing and say things to make you feel. Biggie and all these other rappers. But I want to say to you, I never, ever liked it rapping. Never liked it rapping. I just found out in the last, a year and a half when I was telling y'all about Tupac's, a song he made about his mother. Because I did away with rap and I was listening to his words to his mother, and that is what made me realize. I said, so this cat was saying some things that could have benefited the black women today. But see, that stuff don't get manifested in the right order because the individual that sings, one minute he's singing something to make sense, next minute he's singing something for hate, fighting, gang banging. This is Judah. Period. They start on the right track, they get off easily and end up gang banging and talking about stuff that don't mean nothing. So a year and a half I did hear Tupac's about his mother's song because somebody told me, you know, you need to listen to that. So I listened. But these 3 Europeans, and I sit back and I say I should do something on them. I know one of them is sponsored by the Rockefellers. So I do know that the Jews are behind what they're doing. Big time, y'all. Big time! And I just heard a young black man say what y'all had revealed to me. And he said, hold up. How is it they're got all this military equipment? How do they got fighter planes flying up? Who gave them that type of power to do videos with all that military and fighter planes in a video? How did they do that? He's trying to figure it out. Jay-Z ain't gonna be able to get fighter planes from the government to fly. Jay-Z ain't gonna be able to get military equipment to stand on and sing. But these two white boys, they call the Brave Two. I sit back and I say, what is it that we gonna have to be that blind, Father? He said, ain't that they blind, Deborah?